Yes, welcome back everyone to another episode of Giant Endeavours. That's right, it's season 2, episode 1. Let's see what we've got going. Right, so we got the AC Infinity swag box. This was given to me by Homegrow TV and AC Infinity. These guys gave me a shout out for my Instagram for the community highlights section of AC After Dark. So I really appreciate that, guys. Can't thank Norma G enough for putting my name forward. Norma G is always out there in the community, always dropping a like, always dropping a comment, supporting everyone. So it's a great community and great when they give back. So with this box, it's got some goodies in it, and they also gave me a $50 voucher, which is pretty cool. So with that, I'm going to get myself a free clone dome. Let's see what's inside. Pretty nice box, came very fast. So we got AC Infinity, thank you for being a fan. Congrats on being featured on After Dark. Hope you enjoy your swag, AC Infinity. Nice one, guys. A grinder, cheese grater style, pretty cool on your keychain. Magnifier loop. This will be pretty cool to check out your trichomes during the grow, flower stage, and obviously at harvest. Got some nice stickers here as well, they're pretty good quality. High again, AC Infinity. More of a sticker pack there as well. Nice. Quite weighty keychain. Good quality. What's this? Theme sticker pack. Cosmic rolling tray. Ah, a grinder. Sweet. I've been needing a grinder actually. What does it look like? Pretty sweet. Happy days. Oh yeah, I think this is the t-shirt. Yes, I know some of you have been dying to see what's going on in here. Congrats on being featured After Dark. So this was the t-shirt that they give me. Not too bad. Pretty sweet. I think I should have got an XL. Never mind. Sticker packs, of course. Nice little rolling tray. Sweet. This is the main one that I'm going to be using. This is the magnifier loop. This is going to be decent for all the trichomes. Let's just see the quality of it. I had a little tester of it the other day. It's actually pretty decent. It's got two kind of lights as well. So you can look at this side, which is a bit closer, and then that side, which is off. So pretty sick there. That little AC Infinity grinder. Definitely straight into your wallet. Little cheese grater style. Pretty sick stickers. Alright everyone, so it's been a few months since I've done the last update. Last update was in December, now is March 20th. So the plants in the downstairs tent, pretty decent size now. Today we're going to give them a little trim, defoliation, get all the big leaves out of there, make some room, make sure it gets a lot more of airflow inside that tent, and then these should be just about ready. Have a look at these. In here now we've got nice big sugarcane. And the second sugarcane. We've got a big PMZ2 in here. So this one's rocking. This is ready to go, nice and healthy. Got a smaller PMZ2 there as well. In the back here is another PMZ2, and this one is a frozen supersonic. These two here, both of these two are in bigger pots. These are in 11 litre pots, both PMZ1s. So if you remember from season 1, this PMZ1 was a short stacker, and the PMZ2 was the stretcher. So, but I like the flavour in this one more. And then this one is obviously a bit more of a commercial grow. It kind of stretches more. You've got more elongated buds, but this one is the one we want. It's got a nice little canopy in there. Stays really short. It's a lot more training, I'll admit. The plant is a bit more harder to kind of manage because it's a bit of a bush, but when you get in there and you start making sure that you're just trimming off all the branches just till the end of the bud there, you focus all the energy on the edge of that plant, you get some decent sized buds. So I'll show you upstairs when we go up there exactly what a PMZ1 looks like when it's flowered, and you'll see the difference on the size of the buds as long as you train off all of the branches and the extra growth, and just make sure that buds grow from the tips, not from further down here and further down there. Strip it all off and you'll get a nice fat head on the top. So today we're going to start defoliating all of these plants. Not too much, just in there now. It's getting a little bit kind of chopped. All these big leaves, too many leaves there now. So if you remember back from previous episodes, defoliation is we're just going to take off the bigger fan leaves that are getting in the way, and none of the smaller little new growth leaves. So we'll whiz through this really quickly. We've got a lot to do today. But we'll clip these off one by one. So, as you remember, just taking off these kind of leaves, making sure we don't cut off any of the main branches. Whole point of this is to create more airflow, more space for the buds to produce. And also it takes a lot of the humidity out of the tent as well when you've got airflow. It leaves a bit of a weight on the plant as well. And allows all the light to get right through the plant. When you've got a lot of these big, some of them are a bit wider than others, but when you get a lot of these, they block a lot of the light for the lower branches, and then we want those lower branches to come up as well. Effectively, we want it to all come up and match. One fat bud at the top's good, but if you can get 5 or 6 fat buds at the top that are all the same, it's obviously better. The amount of times I've just gone in this really quickly and gone boom, let's get rid of that one, get rid of that one, and then you chop off the main branch. It's devastating. So make sure you keep an eye on exactly what you're cutting. It's easily done. No matter how professional you are, I guarantee you've snapped or broken a branch at one point, for sure. But it's all just because you get a little bit rushed, a little bit frustrated sometimes, you want to get stuff done, and devastated. The plant will feel it a few months later. See, now you can actually see through the plant. A few more of these lower ones off. Take these tops off as well. Go. One down. Just start with some of the bigger obvious ones. And the smaller ones are still kind of cutting off and make themselves obvious too. Make sure you keep spinning the plant as well, because sometimes if you just stay on one side you won't see the leaves from the other side, and you can kind of make the plant go a little bit wonky and a bit heavy on one side. So you've got to make sure you cut off all these leaves equally, make sure the plant is balanced. Alright, number 2. made sure I got quite a few of the PMZ2s this time. Definitely is one of the best strains. PMZ1, PMZ2. Every time I grow one of those strains, I've got it in a jar next to other strains. I'm always wanting to go back to the PMZ, no matter what it is. So obviously that's the course over around 12 months now. So I definitely know that that's a keeper strain for sure. It's been in and out, running it out of the mill, and I know now that it's my best flavour. And I know how to grow it. I know what the plant needs. I know how to train number 1 and I know how to train number 2, so I can get good buds out of both. I've had a few people saying that the PMZ1 is a bit small, it's a dwarf plant, which is kind of true, but you can veg it out for a little bit longer and you can train it so that you make sure that it just goes, the buds go right to the end. But yeah, it's definitely one of my favourite strains. It's all opinion, of course, and choice, but PMZ1 and PMZ2, it's definitely my keeper strains. I did have a PMZ3 from the last season. The PMZ3 actually turned into a hermaphrodite and it pollinated quite a few other plants. And this was all just after New Year. And now I have so many seeds cross-pollinated of PMZ, crossed with the rainbows, crossed with the Queen of the South, crossed with the sugarcane. So many different crosses. I had one area with all the keeper clones in there. They was all flowering just after Christmas and then it pollinated. So now I obviously have some hermaphrodite traits in those seeds, in the genetics, but overall I think on average there should be some females in there. So I'm pretty happy about that. That's just another year's worth of headache going through those seeds. Of course it's all about the hunt, and if I can get something like a rainbows or a Queen of the South crossed with PMZ, and it's a feminized seed, could be onto a winner. Again, it's all about time and space and just getting around to the seeds. That's what we do, that's what we love. So still just going through these plants, getting out all these major fan leaves, and roughly within a couple of days we're going to put these in the tent upstairs and it'll all be ready for flower. So we're going to take a bit more of a closer look at these plants. These are in 11 litre pots, PMZ1. So again, like I was saying, they don't stretch. They're just little short ass bushes. But with that, we need to make sure we train these and make sure that they grow the right way, because they can just spiral out of control, as you can see. And it's not great really for making flowers inside all of this stuff here. So when you go through all of it bit by bit and open it up, it makes the space for the buds to grow, especially with this kind of, like, look at how short that is. It doesn't even stretch at all. It literally just comes straight out of the pot and up like a bush. You can see like some of the differences in structure. See how that one's short? This one seems to just be going up and stretching. This one seems to just go sideways. But they're healthy enough. Just need training. Once we cut through all here and get all these bits out, these will be rocking in the main tent. We'll get them up to flower. And I'll revive the PMZ1. Don't know if anybody remembers from the previous episodes, but I only had some tiny little cuts and some dead versions of the plants. These are the ones now that we've slowly brought back. As you can see, they're always tiny, but it's taken 2, maybe 3 months to clone these, to get it going again, to then get them in bigger pots and then letting them settle. That's only 100 watt light in there, so it does the job, but of course it's not exactly super powerful. So the best thing to do is just keep them alive, keep the genetic popping. And then after a while, we can take a few clones off this, we can copy it again, and then we'll get it upstairs in the big tent. But right now, we just need to trim all around under here, make it a little bit more accessible. Right, and that's pretty much roughly what we need. So we need it to be kind of a little bit empty, a little bit more oxygen flowing through there, airflow. So that now, it's a wild shape, but it'll definitely do the job. So that's what we need right now. Cut right through it, take out all the areas there. And you can see how this kind of stuff now, this will have more energy to reach up. Whereas what it was trying to do is putting all its energy down here and repairing loads of stuff, getting new growth. But as long as we cut all of that out, then it'll put all the energy into the top half of the plant, which is pretty much what we want. So it's a good foundation there to start some buds. We'll veg these out for a few more days, and then once the flower tent that's upstairs is flushed, just got a few more days of flushing that with straight water. So we'll give these a few days, we'll let them adjust from the defoliation, and then we'll come back to them and get them ready for flower. Right, so we're back in the Spider Farmer 3x3 flower tent. Down here we've got 5 plants. These are all just in the last weeks of flower now. Here we've got Candy Gas by Ripper Seeds. As you can see, it's a bit of a mad shape, but this one was a mother plant. I'd taken a couple of cuts off it, but I thought there's still enough material in there to flower anyway, and it'd be a shame just to throw the entire plant. So I thought I'd just flip it to flower and see what happens. It's a bit of a mad shape, but it's kind of coming on all right. So this is roughly day 55, and I think I'm going to chop this in the next couple of days. Ultimately, I need to do the whole tent at the same time. This one is the Frozen Supersonic by Robin Hood Seeds. Again, this was a mother plant, so I took some cuts off it, but I flowered the remaining stems, and you can still see they've done all right. Loads of frost on there. Now, this one was the example plant that I was talking about. This is PMZ1. So this is the only way really that you can get a decent yield from PMZ1. Again, it's only a short plant. I just wanted to get it out of the way to make room for the bigger plants that are coming up from downstairs. But they've still got some nice buds on them. So these are smelling really good. This is definitely the best version of the PMZ. But like I said, you have to do a little bit of training so that you just get buds on the end of the stalks right there. So that's the PMZ. Nice little finish on that. Again, it'll only be a small yield, but it's definitely worth doing, definitely worth keeping the genetic alive and just having a few clones taken off that and then flower it anyway. Here, this plant was actually unknown for quite some time, but then a friend got back to me and he told me what the clone was, and it's actually called G Whiz by Batoa Farms, and apparently it's a cross between Black Ice and Skittles. Black Ice is a Black Domina cross. So lots of kind of berry flavors in there, spicy, but then it's got that new kind of kick from the Skittles. But this one's gone past its time now. This is roughly around day 70, and it definitely should have been harvested at around 55 or 60. But like I was saying, I had to get the whole tent finished at the same time in order to save space. This next one here is Pink Milk by Soulfire. Pink Milk by Soulfire is on around about day 75 or something now. I've really pushed this one far, but it's still looking decent. It's not really fading or anything, so I think it could probably go a little bit longer. Really good trichome production there, and it's giving off tropical orange kind of smells. I think that would be quite a decent yielder, especially for a 5-litre pot. But it's definitely on the way. It needs to be harvested very soon, so I think this entire tent's going to be harvested in around 5 days. Just going to flush them one more time with water and let the pots dry out, and these should be good for a nice little harvest. Overall, I think I should get a couple of ounces off each one of them, I reckon. So it's a good little yield and a nice little turnout as well. Proper frosty little buds on this, and considering it's only a 5-litre pot, definitely happy with that yield. This one is a 1-gallon pot, and that'll be a nice yield as well. We flipped these ones when they was kind of short, but again, we should get a nice little taster out of each one of the strains, and ultimately these 3 would have gone in the compost. So it just goes to show that even the most stressed out mother plants that have had loads of cuts taken off them and they was going yellow, I just threw them in here, flipped them to flower, and I think the hormone switch pushed them through. They got green again pretty fast, given the right nutrients at the right times, and they bounced right back. So I'm pretty happy with that. So that's the 3x3 flower tent. Looking good.